Really quiet. Okay. That may be me as opposed to as opposed to anything I've got set up. I am unfortunately hearing myself on an echo. Okay, yeah, there wasn't any hold music yet. I have not yet figured out how to do that. I had Emmadog gave me a great hand with sorting the stores thing out. That's why I've got my various different bits and pieces I've got there. My starting screens and all my different bits and pieces like that. So we're getting there. We're getting there. Hold music will have to be on the list. I'll get my production crew to make a note of that. Unfortunately, I am my production crew. Um, so we'll go from there. Right, so I need to zoom in a bit more. So at the moment, we're still working on our Legion of the Damned. Our Marnius Calgar and his Legion of the Damned. So see, we got his Vitrix Guard. See, the cloak started on one of them and not done on the other one. What we hope those cloaks will end up with, I hope those cloaks will end up looking more like Marnius's here, which is done with three different reds kind of layering up. Still not as bright as I want it to be yet. It's very, very grim dark. You can see in the loincloth in the front only has one on it so far. So it all needs a lot more added to it. I've also noticed there's a lot of details on these models that are going to need more bone added to them. Basically places where we would normally put gold and things like that. We're going to be putting bone instead. So we've got a few. Oh, I need a better mic. This is my Xbox headset. So pretty improvising for what we've got. Hello, hello, hello. Is there anything coming through now? There we go. Okay, some volume. That's good to hear. Okay, it's a learning process. We'll get there. We'll get there. We'll plug the headset directly into the camera in future. So, seems a little bright, a little dark. Right. Cheers for that, Bizzle. What I was trying to say was, um, we've got three stages of cloaks here. So we've got not started at all, got a bit of work done on it, and basically where we want to end up. So we need to try bring them all up to the same stage, and we'll get there. Get there bits and pieces. Takes a while, mainly because I spend a lot of time just kind of checking the miniature to see if I missed any other paint. But I think the cloaks are the next thing to go. I think the red. Hey, Emmy, how are you doing? Emmy helped me a lot setting up the stream, so thank you for that, Emmy. good person if he wants to follow someone who's got nice chilled out chats, occasionally very rude. Uh, feel free to go along and follow her. Yeah, so this kind of red on the cloak here is where we kind of want to end up. Yeah, Bizzle tolerates Emmy. I think she's all right. So how we're doing this red? We've got a base, we've got a layer, and then we've got this red. Hey, Kiffer, thanks for joining us. Kiffer's another streamer. Kiffer plays a lot of old school games, which he plays on stream in a nice kind of chilled, relaxed vibe. I try to watch them when I can. He's one of those people who's so fiercely intelligent he doesn't know how fiercely intelligent he is. Lunchtime painting. Yeah, it helps get me through the week, to be honest. Take a bit of time to kind of relax. But these sort of paint pots, I don't know about anyone else, I just use an old brush to keep them open. As we've discussed previously, me and dropper paints, dropper bottles don't work. I'm still using the same crappy brush. Is that zoomed in enough for everybody, do you think? You see what's going on, or do we need to zoom that in a bit more? Yeah, I fully recommend it because God, these paints are annoying. There you go, Bizzle. You've learned something today. Try to remember to keep my brush up. So you'll notice I'm watering these down a bit. So they will be coming out very thin. It's something that took me a while to get past. Was not trying to just do it in one coat and one pass. And I'm not parroting anything, but two thin coats works better than one thick coat. So things will be look a bit streaky, things will look a bit watery, but we can always come back to that and fix it up later with a second coat. You've actually forgotten your mother's maiden name, unfortunately, so you can't get into a bunch of your security questions, which is a terrible shame for you, Bizzle. This is why you should always write down the answers to all your security questions and keep them in your wallet, just in case you lose access to them. Obviously, I am a pillar of sage advice for the community. That's the real reason people come to these streams, to listen to my words of wisdom. Yeah, I mean, no one ever loses their wallet. Or whatever receptacle you call home for some of the most important things you can carry around with you on a daily basis. Not the most important things in your life, just the most important things you carry around with you. Can't carry around my kids. I used to be able to, and they got a lot bigger. Ah, you see, Kiefer, the web of lies is hard to maintain. Don't want to let them know everything. That's how big finance gets you. The web of lies is rough. I wouldn't recommend that. I would though quite happily wish it on my worst enemy. A lot of people say there are things they would not wish on their worst enemy. To be honest, if someone's my worst enemy, I'm just going to give them both barrels. It's not worth their time or my time by that stage. Barrels of paint. Do you know how much paint costs these days? Can't afford barrels of paint. I could afford to either be an alcoholic or a Warhammer painter, not both. Pint of nun oil. That's what you need. So if you're someone who's new to painting, I'll give you a good tip. Don't do what I'm doing here, which is just using one outdated old brush and then trying to cop in as close as you can with the detail. Do it much like if you're painting walls. What you do is you go in and do all the close areas first with a proper sized brush, so anything that's close to the other details, you do that, and then you can use your bigger brush to cover a lot of the surface really quickly. Whereas I am just trying to do it all with the one brush, which is coincidentally why I don't win painting competitions. Hey, it's evil Overlord Steve. He's number 1, don't you know? He's just that good. So how are we all doing? It's Tuesday. Monday is out of the way. You're already a fifth of the way through the week. More if you're halfway through your working day like me. Your neck still hurts. I should teach you just stretching your neck. You've got to get into that yoga. Now, do I paint the inside of the cloaks red, or do I leave the inside of the cloaks black? What do we think would look better? Do you think the Space Marines have lined the insides of their cloaks? That's the question for that. I can't put up polls while I'm doing this. Yoga is fancy stretching with active breathing, but that's kind of the point of it, isn't it? I'll never poo-poo anything that makes someone feel better. If that works for them, go for it. But I say that if someone's committing genocide, I'll probably be quite upset with them. I don't care if it's helping your aches and pains. So as I said earlier, this is just the first coat of it, and because we're putting it on so thin, um, it actually means that we can. By the time we've finished this side is actually dried. We actually go back over that. Hello, Island of Rob. How are you? Um, yeah, um, I have a little overlay Eminog helped me. She went, this is the secret part you're missing. And I was like, that makes a lot more sense now. And she threw together some quick pictures for me to use as a background, which is good. And then I put together some little scenes in not Streamlabs, in OBS. And hello, Scannerman. I'm 81% sure I know who Scannerman is, but not 100%. Because we all use strange usernames on the internet. Which goes again back to the security things we were talking about earlier, where everyone should just give everyone their details. Much simpler. No web of lies. And I'm definitely not Alpha Legion trying to convince you to give me all your details. Oh, I use paint straight from the pot as well. It's literally what I'm doing here. I'm applying a touch of water to my brush and then picking it up. As long as you're not like scooping and splatting, you should be okay. But anyone who paints their miniatures, I'm a fan of. And I can understand some people. Oh, it's that Scanner Man. Yeah, welcome in. Yeah, some people don't paint armies, and that's fine, you know. But anyone who does try to paint an army, I'm there for them. I'm a big fan of it. Ever since I painted my first army, which was Space Wolves, many moons ago, um, they look terrible. And I didn't think they looked great back then, but I was proud of them. You got to be proud of your little achievements. And a lot younger back then. I was a lot younger back then when I was working on those. I was working with what I had, and you didn't have the internet as this kind of resource for learning everything. You didn't have some random Irish people streaming out his painting chat, trying to encourage people and connect with a community. So I like having people to chat to when I paint. Squadry. Okay, so that's a bit of a deep cut there from our good friend Islander Rob. Squadry is actually an event that I run every February, and it's to help people get miniatures painted up that they probably got over Christmas, and just to get a squad of them on the board, because we all like to paint up our fanciest ones. Oh, you got a big tank, and you got a special character named Lorcon the Destroyer who's done this, that, and the other. But the game evolves around these kind of like poor saps who are caught in the middle of all of us, right? And getting them painted and on the board is a lot more impressive than getting one character painted on the board, in my humble opinion. But Island of Rob joined me for one of those things. He started up some models, but apparently he has now lost them. Just means he's going to have to get some more. That's how Games Workshop gets you. They break into your house at night and steal some models. Then you'll have to buy new ones. They'll sell the same ones back to you. Oh, you actually found the boxes. Good. Sometimes it gets hard to see around the camera to where my water pot actually is. I don't instinctively know where things are now. But that's okay. Trying to learn as we go. I was trying to tell people that we're not perfect yet. We may not even end up perfect. You may not give a shit. It does not matter. You see some people online who manage to make cloaks look like they've got every thread and fibre in them painted in. It's beautiful to see. Nothing I can replicate, but beautiful to see. Oh, thank you, Steve. To be honest, I don't play the game much regularly anymore. But I find painting minties is good for my mental health. So I do that. And occasionally, every now and then, blue moon, I'll get to do something with someone. But I only play against people I know. There's too many people out there who try really hard to win games. And that's not what I'm about. A Lord of the Rings army. Do you know, I never got into the Lord of the Rings game. The mini you gave me, give me 1 second, is sitting right here. I have it prepared as one of my things to do. I'm just trying to figure out what way to do him. Have I lost his backpack? No, there is a backpack there. I'm just trying to figure out what way to do him justice. So I think he's meant to be a blood angel. I don't know if I want to do a blood angel. But I still have him. I shall not. I don't. Especially with stuff that's given to me by friends. This you'll see here is the only problem with using a paint pot or using a brush to keep a paint pot open. Occasionally you'll get paint on the end of it. That's why that one's got layers of what looks like red melted wax on it. That's all different layers of paint just accumulated on it. Okay, so we now have these two now have their cloaks up to just about the same level. So we're going to try do now is highlight them up with the kind of next layer, next color up, which in this case is going to be Evil Sun's Scarlet. I mean, if they'd named them Red 1 and Red 2, that'd be just fine for me. But you go with what you got. And this one, excuse me, bit of a cough. This one came from the Conquest magazine. I think it was Conquest or Imperium. Imperium or Conquest. Came down to a good friend of mine, an author from Kerry, a game designer, Mr. Lundberg, who passed it on to me. Master of the Fleet. Yeah, because people in charge of fleets need thunderhammers. It's always what I've thought when I've been in charge of fleets of ships. Was if only I had a thunderhammer.
Right, so this is going to be our next level up paint. We're going to try to brighten things a bit, and what we're going to try to do is hit kind of the areas where the sun might hit it more. What we want to do it extremely muted. Move that water over so I can actually see it. So we definitely don't want too much paint on it. We want the paint quite watered down, and if possible, we want to leave some of the darker color there as well. Especially if things you see like the creases, we want to see, can we leave them there? Just so it shows a bit of gradient on it. So we have a few options anyway. I'm tempted to do that middle model up as one of the Howling Griffins, because they're an annoying paint scheme to do, and that's fun. It's very retro to me. So yeah, the entire outside part of that will be catching the light. Obviously, not much under the backpack here would really be catching the light. But there is kind of a raised lip here that would look a little unusual if we didn't put something on it. Because, there's only so much you want to go with realism on these things, and then so much you want to go with just the aesthetic of it. We're talking about the grim, dark universe. There's not exactly a whole lot of realistic things we want to go with. I actually did some Howling Griffins quite recently. Darren Latham, who is I believe he's designer. He's a designer and a painter for Games Workshop. Did a challenge on his Instagram where he wanted them all done as get a bunch of 90s Marines together, the original kind of 90s Marines, which were a long time ago at this stage. They came in the second edition box, I believe. So they were real classics, and he wanted them kind of get people to get some of them that were still floating around the place and kind of paint them up as a tribute, because he got 90,000 followers on Instagram, I believe it was. Oh, the Beaky Marines. No, no, no. The original kind of 90s monopose ones. Grab one there in a second. Good work, Kiffer. It's hard to actually find all that box together. So you'll see a lot of this paint. Hey, Morbo's here. You see a lot of this paint is it's coming on quite wet, which means it'll actually dry very translucent. So it's not going to be as dark as it currently looks. Morbo has been another great help setting up the channel. The fact is, he actually sponsored the light I'm using, so that I can actually see. And I mean, I could always see what I was doing, but being able to let other people see what I was doing is always a bonus. It's strewn around the room. That's probably not the stage that I would like to see models in, but you do you, buddy. See if you can account for all 40 Gretchen. I think it was just 20 orcs, the regular orcs. Yeah, back in the day, they used to have the White Dwarf magazine, which they still do these days, but they used to have kind of like homemade terrain for the battle reports. And one of the things they used to do was what they called orc cactuses, which are basically big styrofoam balls that you painted green and you stuck cocktail sticks in and painted them red, which is really nice until you stand on one. And then you start thinking a lot about a number of your life choices. Hey, Corvus, how are you? I don't know why you didn't get a notification. Hands up who got a notification. Is that actually working, or are we? Is that another thing for my tech team to sort out? Hey, it's T'other. It's my boy. T'other is actually to blame for a lot of this, because he actually helped me get back into 40k. Island of Rob, welcome to Darktide. Darktide is a Warhammer 40k game. It's on the PC. It's on the Xbox. I don't know if it's on the PlayStation. You are a terrible influence in all the best ways, and I'm delighted to have you in my life, good sir. Yeah, Darktide is a wonderful little 40k game that I'm now possibly playing too much of. I'm up to the stage now where I'm got 3 level 30s. Yeah, Corvus knows a thing or two about it, Rob. He's all right. We let him play with a Morbo and myself. Is there a new patch to Darktide out today? I will have to update that. You know, if I can't get in some actual games of Warhammer 40k, I'll play some online if I can. Team Algren is one of the ways to go. Rob, four Ogrons running around. It's just a barrel of laughs. I mean, not if you want to see the screen, because they take up so much goddamn room. Bizzle plays a sniper when he plays with us, and he despairs when Gunhex and I bring out our Ogrons, because we'll lumber forward to engage the enemy and nobody will see anything. Alright, what are we thinking, folks? Does that need to go up a shade brighter in places? Hey, Ads, how are you? Now I'm going to get really shy because Ads is a much better painter than me. Ads is another one of the people in the chat whose channels you should go follow. We've got Corvus, we've got Island of Rob, we've got my moderator Morbo, we've got Ads, we've got Emanog. Who else am I missing? Kiffer. Hey, we got Rodo. That's another good streamer. I like that most of the streamers I watch are actually people I know in real life as well. So it's going. We don't want to do the inside of the cloak. See, we've left the inside of the cloak quite dark there because it's not going to take any light, so it's not going to be very bright. What we could do is we can mix up some orange, Troll Slayer orange into this Evil Sun Scarlet. We can make a bit of a highlight color and try glaze that on. Will we give that a go, will we? Troll Slayer orange. Thank you, Ro. Emmy gave me a good hand with that. Rob, I was thinking about this only recently. I think we've known each other for a very long time, even before the incident in the flowers. Yeah, so we'll just get some of that. So we've got some of the orange on our palette. Turn that around so we can see it. We've got some of the orange on our palette. Watch all the orange out. Don't cross contaminate. And then we're going to take some of our. This was our final highlight color. This is the Evil Sun Scarlet. Then we're going to try to use. We're going to try to take bits of both of them and try and mix them together into a lighter color. Because if you mix kind of white into this to get a lighter color, you just end up with pink. Just I'm not even getting a very reddish color there. Well, not very orange. Okay, it's kind of it's an orangey red now. Should not mix with the paintbrush you're about to try to use. Oh, yeah. Listen, I will get I'll get a proper setup eventually. But today is not that day. That costs well, it costs anything at the moment. So this is my phone that's being used as a camera. So hopefully it gets the majority of the idea across. So with this new color we've mixed up, we're only going to try hit the brightest spots. It's going to be just kind of on the tips of things where the light would catch them, or where it looks dramatic. Because we're not painting real life, so we don't need to worry about that. Problem is actually so close to the color, it's hard to differentiate what you have done and what you haven't done, which means it's kind of blending well. But I'll take pictures of this and put them up on Instagram and Facebook later when they've settled a touch. Just the tip, honey. Snark. Rob and I at one LARP event lay dying in a patch of lovely flowers in a meadow as our characters. Lesson that's been the defining moment of our friendship. Many moments since, but that was the one that started it. Oh, I don't like blending. I don't like blending. Just occasionally I just kind of try it because I think maybe it'll work this time. You know, I was painting about a foot off this direction. Yeah, I would love to see more people paint. That is the only way to get better at this sort of thing. It is a it is a practice skill as opposed to a learned skill or an innate skill. Am I saying that correctly? Basically, paint more. That one's coming in a touch bright. So we don't want. Oh no, good lord. We don't want it to be coming in as completely orange. Yeah, Corvus. Essentially, I shouldn't try to do these things live on stream. Also, don't try home while you've got something in your mouth. Okay, enjoy your working day, folks. Anyone else? It's always grateful for people to pop by and say hello. Um, I know what it's like, kind of jumping into these things when you've only got like a half hour for your lunch. I have the advantage of flexi time where I work. I can work up time after work or before work to bring this up. So I should experiment more on stream, we're thinking, Corvus. I don't know if we had anyone follow since we started, because that should ping up the top. I'm just wondering if it's going to work or not. Oh, it did ping. Wonderful. Okay, so it's working. Yay! Yeah, thank you everyone for joining me. It's nice fun to be able to talk to people, and even knowing that like I mean, some people are doing other things, and just knowing that people are kind of out there. I'm not just talking to myself. Hey, there's a vagabond, digital vagabond. More follows means more good. Yeah, there's a number of people in this stream who I don't get to actually talk to in person enough. Some of which I've not talked to properly in far too long, uh, which shames me quite a lot. Right, we have cloaks done. I've completely forgotten about this guy's front tabard. I've now noticed that they've all got front tabards. Slash tassely things. What are the tassely things? There must be an actual name for them. They could just call tassels. Nipple tassels. Their groin tassels have not yet been painted. Have I tried wet palettes? I paint infrequently enough that I don't know if a wet palette would be useful for me. Yeah, that may change with coming to this, with painting more on Twitch because I'll have people to talk to, and then a wet palette may be something to work into. I have been told by a few friends in the know that wet palettes are not a huge game changer. There you go. Ads doesn't like it. I know Golden Demon winner who doesn't like them. I don't even know if it's so much that people don't like them; it's just they don't use them. A lot of preferences. It's not something I am against trying, but I didn't want to. I didn't want to buy one and then go, "Oh, I've invested a bunch of money in something I don't like." I then looked into making a homemade one. I went, oh, that's a lot of effort for what you get out of it, and then didn't bother. And then it hasn't popped back up since, to be honest. Ads is wrong. Don't know. I've seen some ads painted really nice. He doesn't do it. So you're a fan of the old wet palette then, Vagabond. It's the great wet palette debate begins. Far too much water on that brush. Will make you a better painter overnight. It will make a nice experience for the majority of the time, even if you just for paint's not drying out. I've heard that ads never swears. He goes to church every Sunday. Okay, chorus. Okay, chorus. You and Vagabond have made a good shout for it. Tell you what, I will try one at one stage. Maybe once I hit affiliate, I'll get one as a treat. See what I can do. I may have been fibbing, Ro. Shh! Don't tell anyone else. So normally I batch paint a bunch of models, but trying to slow down with these models. I'm just kind of concentrating on a few details on them at a time. I couldn't leave it to just one model though. I had to at least have three. So the fact that Marnius Calgar comes with his little buddies who hang around him, his groupies, that was good. It means I can at least swap around from things to another. Right, that's more red worked in there. And I will just keep going back over that. Those cloaks are going to be like 4 inches thick by the time I'm finished because I just keep kind of trying to apply another layer of red, another layer of red. And even when I'm complaining about it, I'm still doing it. Stop. Right. I think we're gonna have to be done with red for the day. If it wasn't Legion of the Damned, I do tend to do a lot of Zenithal. I do quite like Zenithal. I've never gotten on with this slap chop way of doing things. But yeah, depending on the model, I would do Zenithal. Um, Sometimes I've done it with white over a grey. The same bits. Yeah. Yeah, Legion of the Damned, just the black seems like the best way to go. So we've got them coming along. I know my palette gives Bizzle some OCD. You can see more paint than white on it. So what do we want to do next, folks? What do we think? Do we think we're going to go block in more of the bone color, or are we going to or we're going to do some of the bases, which involve some dry brushing, some toxic boils. So, boner boils. Do you want some boner boils? Which do you want? I don't know what you're laughing about, Rowan. There's nothing remotely humorous about that. Do you want to bone things or cover them in boils? It's Why not both? Because that would be a really weird color combination. Yeah, I don't think that would be would do exactly that. Um, yeah. So I've got about 10 minutes of stream left. So I'm gonna do one or the other. There is I haven't created an Amazon wish list. I'm not a fan of Amazon. I used to have Amazon on the website, and then I got rid of it because I don't like Amazon and who they are as people. So yeah, so we got rid of that altogether. But I do have a Patreon if you want to join that. I should put a gift thing or a tips thing. I think I was being shown that earlier. Right, I think we're just going to go with a bit of dry brushing base to finish us up for the day. We're going to give everyone boils, some toxic boils. Yeah, if there's a way to do wish lists that weren't that weren't Amazon, that'd be different. But I know not of how. I'm not going to set up a wedding register. I don't even know what throne is. Is it a golden throne? Do we sit people on it? We feed them psychers? Seems to be the only logical way to do that. You see with a bunch of these paints, they have a bunch of thinners filling them. So when you're putting them out, you have to actually try and get the thinner out first. I don't know. I don't know what throne is. I will have to investigate me a throne. Yeah, see all the layers of paint that build up on my palette, make it into a kind of a pseudo textured place. Throne is like a wishlist thing that they have your address on there, but people don't see it when they buy stuff for you. You can buy things outright, suggest things for your wishlist, or donate something. Ah, that sounds nice. I like stuff, possibly even things. I could suggest fancy suits I could wear on stream. The thing about hate about dry brushing is until you actually start trying to apply the brush the thing, that's just you don't know quite how much is going to still be on there. So when I'm dry brushing bases for miniatures, I don't actually try to get too close to the model. Did you know in video games how when they can't do shadows properly, what they do is they just leave kind of a black circle around the model? Try do that. Because all that stuff right in there, that's all going to be in shadow anyway. Yeah, it wouldn't be too hard to create get a pile of sprues together and prime them up. Yeah, I don't tend to dry brush that often. But, it's kind of like all skills for this. I try to try everything at least once, except heroin. Never try heroin. Stuff. I think I deserve stuff and things. Quite frankly, I don't know where you get off, Rue, saying I don't. Coming on my stream telling me I don't deserve stuff and or things. I could have gizmos and gadgets and thingamabobs. Hello, Mimic. Welcome to the chat. And thank you for the follow. I'm not great at noticing that people have followed or anything. I'm going to have to get it to make a noise so I can go, moo. It's another one to put to my technical team. It makes a noise for you. Oh, I'm going to have to sort that out. I can't hear it. I think when Bizzle was saying that my volume wasn't coming through, I think I tried to mute everything and put up some other things. So I may have muted all of that audio myself because I wanted to make sure I didn't hear myself echo. So I'm one of those people that if I hear myself echo, it just throws off my train of thought. Now just caught some sort of infinite loop of going, what? Just some lovely bit of dry brushing. Dry brushing's what I want to do. It's funny. You see people on YouTube who just be like, and now I'm just going to airbrush the base, and they'll have like a completed miniature, and they'll just be like airbrushing around the base. And you're like, what? I don't know how people get airbrush control quite so good, but more power to them. I've not actually made a video with my voice in it so far. I've pretty much taken the files and put them up on YouTube at the moment. So I'll have to let's see about what needle size. It seems to be some sort of gigantic size. I don't know off the top of my head, to be honest. But yeah, no, it's something I need to work on. Don't worry, airbrushing is not going to something I'm going to do on stream because I airbrush out in my shed. Yeah, I don't even know what size it is. Yeah, I only airbrush out in the shed. I tend to save up a bunch of airbrushing I want to do, and then I go out and blast through a bunch of it at once. So as you can see here, Marnus Calgar has a hero stone to stand on, but I don't know what I'm going to do with it. Probably just a fairly standard average grey, to be honest. Nothing too exciting or unusual. And then cover with more pink. Only the super toughest of Space Marine heroes can stand on the pink ground of this world and fight. Gotta be secure with the old masculinity there, folks. Yeah, I think that's you, Toll, lads. You're gonna have to wear a mask at all times, not just for miniature painting. But, no king shaming here. That's the bases looking a bit more like they fit in with the rest of them. We'll put some glowing green goo on them later. Interested? Here's what the bases on the Outriders look like so far. So that's the sort of vibe we're going to be going with on these. Thank you. Thank you. Some of the flames, actually, I could probably almost rank some of the units in the how good the flames are in how long I was doing them when I started with them and when I came along. Um, yeah, that's one of the early ones. So you can see that if the focus will work, the flames are actually quite huge. And then one of the later ones where I started to get the idea of it, focus, and the flames got significantly kind of more detailed. So, but yeah, it's been a fun process. Because normally Marines are pretty much paint within the lines. That's all you do with them. So it's been nice to actually have some that are. Hey, Legola! Legola made it in before I closed the stream this time. Yeah, so normally the Marines are very much paint between the lines. You know, you can very much see which bit needs to go which bit. But the fun thing about Legion of the Damned, it's all messed around with freehand. So like, you put some random bones on it, you put some fire on it, you just kind of put stuff wherever they like. His holster isn't finished. Every time I pick up a miniature in this army, I'm seeing more things that I want to do with them. Just kind of those little finishing touches. Hopefully, I haven't brought out Rose inner pyromaniac, and Az isn't now running around putting out fires. Hey, thank you for the follow, Legla. And Agent Danny, hello, how are you? Agent, not agent. Agent. A fellow I normally see on Moverliss's chat, so nice to see you there. To see you. Nice. Right, so I've noticed these guys have breastplates and faceplates that need some bone work on them. Just use a touch of water so we don't put on a hugely thick layer of paint. So you know what we do? We change to a brush that's not the size of my thumb to try to do some of this detail. I've liked Warhammer Agent Danny for about, is it 26 years at this stage? I don't know. It's been a good while. It's been a good while. Do I have a brush around that actually has a tip? I do. Mini painting is my way to relax, Legola. So, because you can't always just jump on the Xbox and do pretend violence. Painting a bone over black is a pain. Gonna have to do a couple of runs on this, but we'll get there. Jeez, I was probably around the end chorus. Yeah, ads. War dollies are expensive but good for mental health. Unless you're playing in the competitive scene, in which case they're bad for mental health. And even more expensive because you've got to change armies every 3 months. I'm going to have a think about making some official mod for this. Rich in plastic. Yeah, that is a very specialised strip club that you have to go to use plastic minis to put down people's underwear. Primaris Hellblasters. Good lord. Those things are monstrous. They just delete units. As I've said, I don't really play the game as much as I used to, but keep up on what's going on. I could have learned a lot about cars or hunting or guns, and I chose to learn about a fictional universe. Yeah, I'm working through my backlog as well as. Yeah, like looks like you had a good spread, all right. I always liked demons as a faction. Oh, I've messed up that line. I'm gonna have to come back with that later. Clean that up. Clean it up off stream. Then pretend that this never happened. I'll cut this out of the YouTube video. You'll never know. Corvus actually managed to find for me some of the original metal Legion of the Damned. And those ones actually had kind of all the flames and bone details. They all had them as raised details, actually on the models, as opposed to me trying to freehand them on. Yeah, we can fix everything in post, Kiffer. I don't know where we're going to post it to, but we can definitely fix it. So you can't quite see how much paint is in this on this palette. But I tried to put out the tiniest drop of bone, just so I could kind of do a couple of bits while I painted up the last things. And just a huge blob that came out. I always hate to waste paint. And of course, people are going to say, if you had a wet palette, Angent, I have Facebook, I have YouTube, I have Instagram, and I have a website. These are all things I do when Morro doesn't have me moderating his stream. He beats me with a stick, you know. A 100 metal demonettes. Well, do you know what the great thing about that is, Legola? Metal models are really easy to strip. Like, super easy to strip. Just get you some isopropyl alcohol. Um, I kind of collect. I like to play with friends, but otherwise I just collect. And then if I end up with stuff that I have that either is unpainted or painted and other people really need, I try to help them out that way. For a good while, I used to buy and trade armies and take the few bits I wanted out of the army and then sell it on to someone else. I used to occasionally just kind of give away armies to friends because they wanted to get into something or they were trying something. But that was back when I had spare money and time and such things to sort out good deals. I do not have any of that anymore. So I sit around painting my backlog and now talking to you. Yeah, Angie, Angent, I am all about the grim dark. Because in space, there are no good guys. It's just a collection of absolute jerks being jerks. There's some really good stories along the way. Some really terrible stories along the way as well. There's some quite spectacularly badly written stuff out there that I don't know how GW slash Black Library or whatever actually lets them publish some of the things they do. But yeah, Corvus, you should totally do a painting stream. Squats are gone. The orcs or GW blew them up. I think they got eaten by the Tyranids actually. Um, and grots are just mean. They're just meanies. Somehow, a bit of bone paint has ended up on that shoulder there. And I don't know how. Oh, no, and then I've wiped off too much and taken off the paint with it. Thank you very much, Corvus. When Corvus sees me come online, he runs to his painting shed. It's like a bat signal. It's a Corvus signal. Dun, 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 dun. That's Transformers. That's awesome. Space fungi, yes. While orcs aren't evil, they're not good guys either. They do enslave people and eat a bunch of their own species. None of the human races are good guys. They are definitely all baddies. Right, folks, I'm afraid that's where I'm going to have to wrap up for the day. As I will have to get myself ready for work before I get to work. But what we could do is we could try raid somebody. I don't know who there is to raid. Who's painting Warhammer at the moment that we could raid? Oh, well, I'm glad people enjoyed it. Let's see if we can find somebody painting Warhammer. Gus the Hutt. Okay, let's see if we can do that. Is it slash raid? Gus the Hutt. Right, let's go raid somebody then. Thank you for the stream, folks. and I will speak to you soon.
Mac and Stegart, thank you very much for the raid.